Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very happy World Photography Day to all of you. And may today be the start of a brilliant journey filled with light, illumination, and knowledge. And in that spirit, welcome to this very special webinar celebrating Herography by HP Indigo. This session is all about celebrating heroes, especially among photographers. Photography is dear to all of us, but it is indeed very special among the arts for its simple ability to tell stories. And this, in turn, can very easily be used to benefit people and society in different ways. All one needs to do to be a hero with photography is persevere. And these are heroes who make a difference to society, to our environment, and to the spirit of this planet. Coincidentally, today is also the birthday of the legendary S. Paul, one of India's greatest legends in photography. Today also happens to be my mother's birthday, and beyond the fact that she is definitely my greatest hero for many, many other reasons. And it may come as a surprise to you that World Photography Day was in fact very first proposed by an Indian, by Mr. O.P. Sharma, a very well known photography teacher from Delhi. He had written letters to societies around the world proposing that today be celebrated as World Photography Day, and they all accepted. And all of these events are indeed heroic. We have with us today some extraordinary photographers who have broken barriers and shown the world a different path and who have done something very special. The four photographers we are felicitating as heroes and will be speaking with today are Mohit Ahuja, Harshin Jammu, Rajan Nair, and Kedar Bide. These are all heroes in different spheres and in different ways, and they are all here with us today. Our next guest is Rajan Nair. Rajan Nair is a freelance photojournalist living in Mumbai. He has a partial hearing disability. Rajan has conducted photography workshops for over 700 children, including cancer patients and children with disabilities. In the early 2000s, Rajan started to visit a school for deaf children in Goregaon in Mumbai. He conducted photography classes for kids there every weekend. In 2013, Rajan tied up with the Tata Memorial Hospital through an NGO and started taking classes for children suffering from cancer. All his workshops are free for students. The NGOs pay for his transportation and his stay. Although Rajan is not working currently, he continues to take regular classes at the hospital. Losing students to cancer is a very harsh and difficult reality that Rajan has learned how to face. We are felicitating Rajan Nair for doing something very extraordinary, very noble, and yet very challenging in teaching children with cancer and keeping their minds engaged, especially children who are terminally ill. Before we meet Rajan in person, here's a short showreel of Rajan's work. Thank you for being with us, Rajan. That was very, very moving on a deeply personal level. Over to you, Mr. Power.
Sure. Thank you so much, and Mr. Rajan. Thank you for accepting our invite and come to the show. The story itself, which is told by Mr. Madhan, and I know you personally. I know the great work, the noble work that you are doing. This is beyond imagination. To be very honest, all right. Uh, but again, for the benefit of the audience that we have, I definitely want to ask first and very first question to you is from a corporate sales environment, right, to actually helping the children, with your permission, we are calling the deaf children, and then extending it to terminally ill, the cancer patient. Tell us about your journey. How did it start?
Like Mr. Madhavan said, is that I had a medical reason. It was quite by accident. It was not intentional. I was a HP retail dealer, and because of my hearing problem, I had to give up my small time business. And then I was told that I have to do a ear surgery. I was suffering from otosclerosis, whereby I would go completely deaf from 1 year to another year over a period of time. So I had to undergo a surgery, and I did a surgery in 2000. But in my case, although they said is that the surgery is 98% successful, but in my case, unfortunately, it wasn't successful. It was a failure. And to add to my problem, I got tinnitus also, which is a buzzing sound, can be heard inside my head for 24 hours, 365 days. I've been carrying on for almost 20 years. And what do I do? In my early 40s, I did journalism. I did a diploma in journalism as well as in photography. So I could write stories, travel stories. And I started posting my photos in social media. In the meanwhile, I got a breakthrough in Guardian UK. I started doing freelancing for Guardian as well as for Oh My News, a Korean-based uh, website. I got an opportunity also to go to Korea. It was sponsored by them because of my interest in photography and my writing skill. And I was wondering, people used to praise me more about my photography. So I was, wondering what could be the reason. Is it a loss of my ear? So obviously, I felt maybe a loss of one sense. It could, you'll have to use your other sense. So in my case, I had to use my eye and my hand. And what the great photographer has said is that photography is all about your eye and hand coordination. So that could be the reason. So why not I share my photography skill with the deaf? So I volunteered to take weekend classes on Saturday at Goregaon in a hearing impaired school. And meanwhile, I got few of the well wishers from Sydney gave me around about 10 cameras. So carry a camera, a load of camera on your back, and then change the train from Bandra, go to Goregaon. And it was 3 kilometers away from the station, so I could not afford. I was not earning much. So initially, I went by auto. Then it was walking, and there that is where I started. I got into the world of deaf, and initially we had a sign language interpreter. Then later on, I picked it up, and I continued for a couple of years. We had a very good bonding, and then I had some other assignment, so I couldn't continue. So they said, all the students, deaf students, they said, no, we will continue. So I formed a group of my own deaf students. I mean, right now, currently, I've got around about 100 of students where we are in touch since last 10 years. I've seen them growing. And some of the students are now professional photographers. The whole idea about teaching deaf is that to give them a visual tool of expression, a communication, and it's also a good career option. Also, I told them that today you have your parents, you have the school, you have the NGOs supporting you, but once you become an adult, nobody is going to be around. Getting a job also is going to be very difficult and all. So what are you going to do? This is the best career. You can be self-employed. You can be a photographer. You can be a wedding photographer. And today in Bombay, for 2 hours, they earn a very good amount. And being a deaf, you don't have to do really marketing. There are a lot of people in the society who wants to do something for the deaf. So once they come to know that you are into wedding photographers, they'll help you out. They'll give you. So you don't have to worry really about the marketing part also. And it turned out to be quite true. Some of my students are really doing very well as a professional photographers also. And we used to go to frequently we go outdoor and all. So that has stopped ever since the lockdown has started. In 2000, meanwhile, I had taken classes for the autistic children because their thinking process, unlike us, is not in words; it is in image. So I felt since the thinking process in image, they could be good photographers of in Faridabad, in Goa, in Karnataka. to do a photo workshop for them also. And here the NGOs, what they do is that we have a 3-day workshop. First 2 days we go outdoor. I help them to shoot all the good pictures and all. And on the third day we do the printing also, and then they conduct an exhibition of photos. That is where printing is also involved in this. For selling the photos also, and that is how one of the way of for the NGOs for raising funds also. In 2013, I had a talk with oncologist of Tata Memorial Hospital. I said is that medicine can take care of the physical treatment. What about the mental well-being? I said, I mean, it's very common when you're not feeling well. You generally feel very down and all. So where do you fall back? If you have some creativity, you can fall back, take away your mind away from your illness and also. And they also said it's a good idea and it's a huge success. Since 2013, I have been involved with Tata Memorial, taking a photo workshop at the pediatric ward for the cancer kid. And then the batches keep on changing. So for the continuity, they get in touch with me. They become a part of my own group also, where I teach them online. Then we go outdoor also. And when we had lockdown, that was where the problem started. Most of the children started, especially the cancer. Sir, क्या होने वाला है? मुझे तो बहुत डर लग रहा है. हमारा तो immunity का problem है ना. So I told them, don't worry about it. I am going to start an online cancer art project. We will have Zoom meeting regularly. I can teach you online also, and you can keep posting your photos also. Don't go outdoor, but you can start taking photos within your home, a portrait photo, or do street photography from your window. Similarly, I started animal photography also for the deaf also. And every day, I mean, from the last 365 days, there has not been a single day where I haven't posted photos of my deaf or a cancer children. In fact, I always have a backlog, and it's been a huge success. So I mean, this is my journey. This is my life. I mean, this is how it's going to be in future also.
No, I don't have a words to express, my, I'm short of words to express my gratitude and thanks to you, Mr. Nair. I think the work that you are doing for, the kids who should stand up on their own, both mentally and physically and commercially, the deaf kids. And then the second one, which is terminally ill kids who are going through an emotional turmoil in their life. Right. And, passing through a journey, which is, as of now, it's the most difficult journey than any human being can actually pass through, which is, the cancer journey of recovery. But tell me one thing that, this is coming to me out of anxiety is how do you keep your emotional balance when you actually teach these kind of kids, in the hospital?
That's a very difficult part. 2016, we went for an outdoor. I had Harsha, I had Gulam, both of them. I lost both of them. They were both, Gulam was 15 years and Harsha was 15 years. The thing is that, I am a layman. I'm not a doctor or a psychiatrist and all. My whole success of, having students, such a large number of students, even the NGOs also, they call me whenever they want to have, because I can get students for them and all, is that I get involved with each and every student. I am not a teacher or a mentor. I am more like a friend. I'm always there. They can believe me. They can trust me. I'm always there. So I lost Gulam, and Gulam's father called me up. They said is that during the last moment also, he was always mentioning your name. So I could give him, a joy of photography, Similarly, Harsha also used to always call me at Tata, sir, aa jao na, mere ko bore hota hai and all. And so I lost him subsequently. Initially, it was, I used to come, I used to do a lot of crying and all. Then their parents used to talk to me over the phone. It is very emotional also. Then I lost Sirsa also from Kolkata, and I used to keep in touch with Sirsa for a last minute and all. What do you tell them? Sirsa told me at the last moment, sir, क्या बोल रहे हैं? 17 कीमो हो गया, जाके आपके भगवान को बोलो कि मुझे क्यों ठीक नहीं कर रहा है. And within few days she also went away. She was also 16, 17. And this is the one aspect is very difficult because I am very emotionally involved with all my students. I see it is all about compassion and affection. unless and until I'm not emotionally involved, I can't be a real like a professional and then keep my emotional detachment. That is not my style of functioning also. But right now, again, one bad news is that a 12-year-old girl, who had attended my workshop. And subsequently, she became all right. She went back to Kolkata. She literally calls me every day. We talk every day and all. She had presented to me some wonderful drawing. I had gifted her some drawing, everything and all. And she came down to Kolkata, and now there is no treatment because there is a growth of she has a relapse and there is no treatment. Doctor says, I couldn't believe, I tried my best. I came home again, I cried. Then I talked to one of my friend one of my oncologists who knows me quite well, whether we can do something about. Now the treatment has stopped. She's gone back, but she's absolutely fine. Yesterday I spoke to her. She said, अभी तो ट्रीटमेंट तो कुछ नहीं है, तो डैडी ने बोला कि एक होम्योपैथी बहुत बड़ा डॉक्टर है, चलो देख लेते हैं. So they are quite brave. Maybe they really do not understand the gravity of the situation. For me, my children is an inspiration. I don't go to the temple. For me, going to Tata Memorial Hospital and being with the children of the God, for me, that is my religion.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think there is, as I said, I don't have words, Mr. Nair. As you rightly said, the best service that you are doing is beyond religion, right? And this is something which is beyond words. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Nair, for being a part of this wonderful show. And I humbly request all the participants who are a part of this show, please connect with Mr. Nair on his, social handle and connect with him and just check with him if there is any kind of a support that you can extend to him for this noble cause. Attach with him, make him more successful, make him, connect with more and more kids who need him. There are not much of Mr. Nair in this world today. We have only one Mr. Nair, and I want each and every one participant to connect back to Mr. Nair and help him to expand this noble cause that he is doing. Thank you so much, Mr. Nair. And again, although it is, this token of appreciation is not something which justifies the work that you are doing, still, allow me to do this honor to you and allow me to present a digital certificate to you. Nitin, please. So I will read out for you, Mr. Nair, reputed photojournalist, resilient initiators, and a trainer in photography for the kids with disabilities and the cancer sufferings. HP Indigo salutes the passion of an extraordinary photographer, Mr. Rajan Nair. Thank you so much, Nair, for being a part of this show.